Can you believe the California redwoods is the home to the tallest tree in the entire world? It's also home to the world famous scenic drive, the Avenue of the Giants, a 31-mile bypass on Highway 101 in Northern California. Not only is this place beautiful, easily accessible, but it's also right in our backyard. When it comes to vacations, my husband is a city boy. He loves the urban experience. Big cities, restaurants, parks, all kinds of stuff, all big city. Me, I like nature. I really like to be among the trees and the water and just everything outside. So this trip for him was a compromise. We only had 3 days for this entire trip. So we flew in on Southwest Airlines to Sacramento, arrived around midnight, and headed straight to our hotel. Saturday morning, we woke up around 8 a.m., took the hotel shuttle back to the airport, picked up our rental car, and headed to Humboldt Redwoods State Park. Located along the Eel River in Northern California, Humboldt Redwoods State Park contains some of the world's most majestic ancient redwood groves. The park encompasses over 53,000 acres, including 17,000 acres of old-growth post redwoods. In 1921, Save the Redwoods League dedicated the first memorial grove, Colonel Reynold C. Balling Memorial Grove, in what's now known as the Humboldt Redwoods State Park. Today, the park contains a diverse coast redwoods ecosystem, which includes Rockefeller Forest, the largest remaining old-growth forest in the world, and the entire Bull Creek watershed. There's more than 250 campsites, 100 miles of hiking, biking, and riding trails, and then the amazing 32-mile Avenue of the Giants in the Humboldt Redwood State Park. That's what I encourage you all to do, is drive along the Avenue of the Giants. Just before the southern entrance of the Avenue of the Giants, you'll find the tree that you could drive through, and that's always fun to do. It's easily accessible from Highway 101. You can just slow down and enjoy the scenic drive of these amazing trees. You can stop and enjoy the hiking trails. There's so many to choose from, so you could just pull off the side of the road every time you see one coming. And in the fall, we went in February. There was plenty of parking, and we felt like we had the entire park to ourselves. The Humboldt Redwoods is home to the tallest tree in the entire world. At 379 feet tall, it's twice the size of the Statue of Liberty. And while we know that tree lives in the Humboldt Redwoods, no one is telling where it's located. Nobody wants it to be disturbed, photographed, climbed, carved out, made souvenirs out of, or disturbed in any way. The magnificence of the Humboldt Redwoods is more than words can describe. My children and my husband were so thankful that we took this trip. It was quick, but well worth it. Let me tell you how we did it. We flew in really late Friday night after we all went to work and school. Got there after midnight. Then we woke up early Saturday morning and started driving north. So we went about almost 3 hours before we found a restaurant where we were going to eat in Leggett. We ate at the Peg House right off of Highway 101. It is a really great place to grab some sandwiches. Plan to sit outside because the indoor seating had only about 2 chairs to sit at. So this is a picture right here of where we sat outside at the Peg House. It isn't much to look at, but it's really, really good. Just near the Peg House is the tree that you can drive through. That's an awesome experience, especially if you have kids. The entrance to the Avenue of the Giants is just a short drive from the Peg House. We arrived at the entrance of the Avenue of the Giants around 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we had plenty of time to explore the hiking trails all along the 31-mile bypass before making our way to Eureka, California to stop at our hotel. We stayed in Eureka, California at the Best Western Plus Bayshore Inn. The people were really, really nice and super accommodating, so it was a good place to stay in Eureka. Eureka, California is right along the ocean, so we took a drive up to Samoa, California, just a couple of miles up, and walked along the sandy beach. It was so cold and windy, but we did have fun getting out and running from the cold. Here's a selfie of us. Our trip to the beach didn't last long. We couldn't wait to run out of there. It was just so cold. So we headed back to the hotel for dinner and a nice quiet evening because we planned to hike again in the morning. Remember, I told you that this trip was a compromise for my husband. So part of the compromise is that we go to the redwoods, but then on the last day when we start driving home, we were going to stop in Santa Rosa, which is in Sonoma County. So we got up on Sunday morning and drove back through the Avenue of the Giants to hike again and enjoy the trails that we may have missed along the way. And then it took us about 2.5 hours to get to Santa Rosa, where we decided to stop for the night. We stayed at a really great hotel, the Rose Hotel, and then we went to dinner at the Russian River Brewery, which that was part of what my husband insisted on. So here's a picture of my daughter in front of a mural in Santa Rosa, and here is the intensely long line we stood in forever to get into the Russian River Brewery. But it was definitely worth the compromise. So go and stop at the Russian River Brewery restaurant and go before you're hungry because the line's really long, and pick up some Pliny the Elder while you're there because it's really hard to get. And we took this entire case on the plane with us. So we packed a bunch of beers in everybody's luggage and just took it with us. And I did see someone carrying an entire box as a carry-on, but anyhow, that was the compromise, and my husband was very happy. So here's the lobby right here of the Rose Hotel, which I thought was really charming, and it's very nice. And here's us on our way home on Monday morning. So we did this whole trip in 3 days. It was so worth it. Our flight was $49 a person each way, and the rental car was like $30. And the drive wasn't bad at all. We just had an amazing time. So I hope that you take the opportunity to go to the California Humboldt Redwoods State Park. And last but not least, if you're thinking of camping or staying at a cabin, I did see a few that I liked. The lodge at Blue Lake looked really great. Also, the KOA cabins in Benbow and the camping in Benbow looked great. And the Red Crest Resort cabins look like a really sweet place to stay. So those are all right there on the 101 and right near the Avenue of the Giants. I hope that you found this video really helpful, and I do hope that you go visit the Humboldt State Redwoods. If you like this video or if you found it helpful at all, please give me a thumbs up, and if you have any questions or concerns, leave me a comment down below. If you do go to the Redwoods, I'd love to hear about it. So tell me all about it in the comment section, or if you've been before and have any other tips that you'd like me to share in a future video, please leave that comment down below also. Anyhow, I hope you have a great time in the Redwoods and happy traveling.